Hey folks, how's it going? Sam here. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to get up and running with your dotlottie state machines inside of dotlottie-android. In our example today, we are using a delivery animation. So here we have the animation and the state machine. And if I go ahead and start it, and then go ahead and change states, changing this string input to various letters. So they correspond to the different stages of an animation and our delivery status. There we go, on our way. Almost there, and then delivered. So we're going to get this set up in Android, and then I'm going to show you how to listen to state machine events, as well as manually changing inputs thanks to the dotlottie-android API. Let's go ahead and get started inside of Android Studio. So this is a brand new Android Studio project. It is using Jetpack Compose. And to get started with dotlottie, we're going to need to import it and download it. So inside my settings.gradle.kts file, I am going to add Jetpack as a Maven repository. And then in my build file, down in dependencies, we can go ahead and add .lottie. I'm using 0.12.5, which is the latest version of today. Yeah, feel free to use a different one, use the more updated one if it's out. Okay, that's done. Let's get started with some code. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get an animation up and running. So first things first, import dotlottie animation into your file. And then in my composable, I'm going to write dotlottie animation. Let's add a source. So dotlottie source.url. Paste that in. And for the moment, let's just do loop and autoplay so we can see our animation in action. Okay, so that's running nicely. You can actually go ahead and get started with a state machine if you use the state machine ID, and this will load it straight away as soon as your animation loads. So our state machine is actually running. If your state machine uses interactions and pointer events, these will actually be set up for you. The dotlottie package will detect these gestures, and send them to the state machine automatically. You can, of course, listen for them yourself and perform actions based on that. Post events to the state machine, fire events, things like that. But the basic pointer events are managed for you. In our case here, I don't use pointer events, but I depend on the value of an input. So as you saw here, my input is segment trigger, and we change state based on this value. So I'm going to show you how to use the API to change this value in code, and then yeah, have it change state for us. If this was a real life scenario, you would have to have a delivery API and be informed when the delivery status changes, and then call the same methods I'm going to show you. Okay, so let's make some API calls. So here I've manually set up some buttons to change segment trigger, our input, to the different letters, which will then change the state for us based on our state machine configuration here. Might not be the prettiest way. In a real case scenario, you would need a notification from an external API and then call these exact same methods we'll be using now. So I'm going to call controller, state machine, set string input, segment trigger, the name of our input, and then its value. So B, and then C, D, E, and F. And this will change the state machine's current state. So our order is accepted. Packing your order. Gonna go through, waiting for pickup. On the way. Almost there, and then our last state delivered in joy. So that's great. That's changing the state by the API, thanks to us changing an input value. Next up, let's add an event listener so that we could perhaps perform other actions when our state machine changes state or enters a specific state, exits one, things like that. Okay, so to get started with state machine listeners, you can implement one, override the functions that you need. In my case here, I've used onState entered, exit, transition, and I'm listening for string input value change because I use a string input. You can, of course, listen for numeric, for Boolean, on start, on stop, on error message, things like that. So you can add more overrides. And then I'm using a disposable effect to add it only once. But controller, state machine add event listener, and our event listener will get added. And for demo purposes, I'm just storing the current state. So on state entered, saving it here, and then just displaying it as a text. So super simple. And then we go ahead and play it. And there we go. So we got our current state that's getting updated thanks to the listeners. And if we go ahead and open up Logcat, all of our events are firing. We can be notified of that as well. So you might want to perform different actions based on the state you're in. So there you go. That's how to get started with state machines inside of dotlottie-android. Add a state machine listener, as well as call the API to change the input values inside your state machine. I hope this video helps you out. If it did, please let us know in the comments. I'd love to make more videos for you on state machines in the future. Other than that, have a great day. Bye bye.